I partied with my sisters until 3 a.m. and staggered home drunk. I turned on the light and nearly jumped out of my skin. There was a strange man sitting on my bed, looking annoyed as he said, "You're finally back." I startled so badly I locked the door right away and started dialing for help. From behind the door, a low voice said, "Sophia, you're not actually going to pretend you don't know who I am, are you?" With my head still buzzing from the drink, I didn't care what he was saying. I fumbled for my phone and shouted at him, "Who the heck are you? You're in big trouble now. Breaking into someone's home. You're gonna end up behind bars." "Sophia, I'm your husband." "Huh? Husband?" My brain managed to break free from the shackles of alcohol and had a little meeting. And finally I remembered. Right. I do have a husband. You've been having a pretty good time while I was away, haven't you? Andrew sat on the bed in a dark silk pajama set, his long legs crossed neatly, the pale feet peeking out from under the cuffs making me feel a little restless. No. I just hung out casually with some girlfriends today. And it just happens to be the exact moment I walk in on you? Yes. You've got to believe me, I've been faithfully staying home alone every single night while you were gone. Right? Like that's even believable. Oh really? Andrew slid his fingers up to push his glasses back with a long, elegant gesture. A sly smile tugged at the corner of his lips. You must have been terribly lonely these past few days. Maybe I should just come back and stay starting tomorrow. What? No. No way. I panicked and waved my hands frantically. Andrew narrowed his eyes, frowning slightly as he looked at me with a hint of warning. So, you don't want me back? Of course not. I forced out a nervous laugh. It's just that the apartment's so far from the office, I was worried about all the commuting being too exhausting. Well then, why don't you pack up and move in with me tomorrow? How could someone with 80-degree temperature say something so chilly? My wonderful married life was over in the blink of an eye? Andrew insisted I move in with him. And since I couldn't argue directly, I just went along with it for now. After brushing my teeth, Andrew was still awake, surprisingly. He patted the bed and gestured for me to get in. I gave a nervous little smile, tiptoeing toward the edge of the bed, then lay down beside him with obvious reluctance. He turned off the light, rolled over, and pulled me into his arms. His unfamiliar scent wrapped around me instantly, freezing me in place. It wasn't like we'd never shared a bed before, but on our wedding day, he'd been too drunk to stay, and by the time I woke up, he was already gone. So this was really the first time we were both fully awake, lying in the same bed together. Andrew pressed close against me, gently brushing his face against my hair, and whispered softly in my ear, "I'm sorry I've been ignoring you lately." I didn't dare move a muscle. Inside, I screamed, "It's fine, please keep ignoring me. Honestly, I don't mind at all." After thinking it over, I decided to be honest with him. I poked his arm and said, "Honestly, I get it, we got married for business reasons, not love. I'm totally fine with you not coming home. Don't worry. I'm really easygoing. Whatever you do outside, I won't interfere at all. So if you don't come back, that's okay too. I actually think things were better the way they were before. What do you think?" Andrew didn't say anything. All I heard was his steady, deep breathing. Once I was sure he was asleep, I fumbled in the dark to find my phone, planning to chat with my girlfriends about how to keep my freedom after marriage. But then he held me so tightly that I couldn't wriggle free no matter what. I must have moved too much. I think he stirred awake, groggy and half asleep. He pulled me even closer and mumbled, "Good girl. Don't move. I have an early meeting tomorrow." That lazy, smooth voice, so damn good, so soothing. I nearly melted right there. I glanced at the clock. It was already past it. Well, I guess I should stop struggling. Might as well just get some sleep. I had actually planned to talk things through with him once I woke up. But I was sound asleep. Didn't even realize when Andrew slipped out. I was woken up by the sound of someone knocking on the door. When I opened the door, a neat and professional woman stood outside. She put her phone away and gave me a straight-faced introduction. Ms. Sophia. Hello, I'm Mr. Andrew's secretary. He sent me to pack up your belongings and take them away. Wait. How come I didn't even know about this? You'll need to call Mr. Andrew directly for the details now. Get to work. At her command, workers flooded into the room one after another, carrying out my things piece by piece. I was furious, not just at Andrew for making decisions without consulting me, but also at this woman for touching my stuff without permission. I dropped down onto my suitcase and shouted at them. Put everything down. If you want to move my things, first you'll have to move me. The secretary tilted her head slightly and gave me a look that seemed almost puzzled. Then she turned to the workers and said, just take her along too. I was in my pajamas, sitting on my suitcase, being moved into Andrew's house along with the movers. When Andrew came back and saw me like that, he was startled. I laughed, tucking a hand through my messy hair, then pressed my right hand against Andrew's shoulder, pinning him to the wall as I fought back my anger. Come on. We're not in some domineering CEO drama, are we? Don't you think you should have asked me before doing something like this? Andrew played innocent and asked me. I just want to live with my wife. How could anyone possibly have a problem with that? That's not what I meant. Do you actually have an issue with it? You're just. See. No one's got a problem with it. Andrew twisted his body smoothly and easily slipped out of my grip. Shameless. Extremely shameless. While I was gritting my teeth in annoyance, Andrew seemed absolutely delighted. He took off his coat, and I caught an unexpected glimpse of his broad shoulders, narrow waist, and the defined muscles of his arms straining against his shirt, so startled I nearly choked on my breath. Well, that physique is seriously impressive. Andrew heard my cough and turned to ask what was wrong. I quickly looked away from his backside, flustered, covered my burning face with my hand, and dashed toward the nearest restroom to hide. That physique in a suit, paired with Andrew's icy expression as if untouched by this world, was pure, intense restraint. I couldn't look anymore. Staring any longer would ruin what little decency I had left. But then, Andrew suddenly flashed a mesmerizing smile, casually unbuttoned 2 buttons on his shirt, took 2 long strides forward, and braced an arm against the wall to block my way. I was terrified. This wasn't something a green little girl like me could handle at all. I shrunk into the shadow he cast, trembling as I looked up and stammered, What do you want? He leaned closer, his fresh scent from the neck drifting straight into my nose, and the invisible pressure made me instinctively shut my eyes. Now tell me, he said softly. What do you think I want? I let out a cry, shoved his arm aside with all my strength, and bolted into the restroom. The second I opened the door, I heard Andrew let out a soft chuckle, sounding almost exasperated. Little one. Me. Little one. Come on. Don't underestimate me. I told my girlfriend Amelia about it, and she laughed at me so hard I had to promise her I'd go out and show me the town tonight. I was so excited I nearly punched a hole through the screen with my typing fingers. Late at night, while Andrew was fast asleep, I gently pushed his arm aside, slipped on my clothes in the dark, and grabbed my heels, ready to head out. But right as I reached for the door handle, the living room lights turned on. I froze like a thief caught red-handed by the homeowner, flustered and completely embarrassed. Where are you going? Andrew said, each word slow and sharp, his tone dangerously tense. Well, I was gonna say I'm just taking out the trash. You believe that? Dressed like this? To take out the trash? Andrew looked me up and down, then stopped at my legs beneath the short skirt. I awkwardly reached up to cover my thighs, only to glance over and catch Andrew's heavy stare. Why does his expression seem a bit off? But that was just a fleeting moment. Next second, Andrew turned and walked into the room, leaving behind a line that sounded a little too ambiguous. Come in. Sleep. Oh, this saying something like that at this hour. With just the two of us alone, it's enough to make you think all kinds of things. Turns out, I was totally overthinking it. Andrew meant sleep in the most literal sense, nothing more. He didn't even hold me again. And I figured he was probably a bit upset with me. I told Amelia about it later. She gave me a look of pure disgust and said, "Oh, come on. Your husband can't even handle it." After hearing that, I started wondering myself if he's really not capable or what. I suddenly felt mischievous and wanted to test him out, but then thought, what if he can? But I can't? Forget it, let it go. When Amelia found out, she couldn't resist giving me a hard time. You're married to such a good-looking guy, and you actually managed to hold back. Sophia, I have to admit, you're something else. I felt caught red-handed and got a little flustered, so I just turned my phone off. What's this talk about being okay or not at night? Andrew was off again early in the morning, and before he left, he seemed to have kissed my cheek, because the stubble on his face felt too real to be a dream. After waking up, the secretary was sitting in the living room working. I gave her a puzzled look and asked, "What are you doing here?" The secretary flashed me a polished, professional smile. "Mr. Andrew only told me to come. You'll have to call him directly for the details." After I finished brushing my teeth and was about to head out, the secretary lady closed her notebook and fell in step behind me. I asked her, "Are you leaving?" She said, "Are you the one planning to go? What's the connection between me leaving and you leaving? I can only decide whether I'm going once you've made your choice." All right, I get it now. So the secretary's just here to keep an eye on me. So I called Mr. Andrew myself. "Andrew, what's going on? You actually sent someone to watch me." Andrew was clearly swamped on the other end, but still managed to brush it off. "It's not surveillance, it's companionship." "Thanks a lot. Do I look like I don't have any friends that I need you sending someone to keep me company?" "Send her back now." Andrew must have picked up on the anger in my voice. He paused for a moment, then said, "All right. I understand." The secretary girl quickly received a call from Andrew. After responding with a couple of soft yes, she hung up and told me, "Mr. Andrew said I should go back in 2 hours." Why exactly 2 hours? It wasn't until I saw Andrew rushing over, handing off duties to the secretary like a shift change, her leaving, him staying, that it clicked why she had to wait 2 hours before going. He didn't trust me out of his sight for even a single second. I got a little scared and quietly sent Amelia a line. "What do I do? My husband might be a stalker type." Amelia finally took it seriously this time and replied right away, "Don't panic yet. I'm going to Google what to do if you're loved by a stalker." Not long after, she messaged me again. "Good luck with that." A little while later, she sent another message. "This stalker thing is blowing up right now. Can I turn your story into a post on Jihu?" I shot back, "Can you just be a decent human being for once?" Andrew said he came here on purpose to keep me company. I nodded frantically, too scared to even say no. Amelia messaged me from afar. "I heard John Group's been swamped with work lately. He actually dropped everything to be with you right now. Clearly, he's head over heels for you." I almost burst into tears, hiding in the mall bathroom reading her message filled with obsessive romance. I pictured Andrew choking me and whispering, "You'll never get away from me," and shivered uncontrollably. I called my dad. "Dad, can I get a divorce?" My dad was on the phone closing a deal when I dropped that out of nowhere. He lowered his voice and said, "Don't make me slap you." I got the hint right away and instantly changed my tone. "Father, you've worked so hard. Father, goodbye." There was no running away, I had to face it head on. I walked out of the restroom and saw Andrew leaning against the railing, holding a bunch of shopping bags, watching kids dance in the small plaza on the first floor. He was smiling very gently, with curved eyebrows and lips, and a gentle sparkle in his eyes, looking warm and cheerful. I remembered our first meeting. Neither of us really knew the other, and we just stood far apart without saying a word. At the wedding, we both wore fake smiles for the guests, acting like the perfect couple. But honestly, I couldn't even remember what you looked like clearly. Even so, he'd still be thoughtful, blocking drinks meant for me, holding up my long gown so it wouldn't drag, and draping a jacket over my shoulders when I was dressed too lightly. Someone this considerate and warm-hearted. Could he really be someone terrifying? "What are you thinking about?" Andrew came over and gently tapped my forehead with his finger. "I was just wondering, are you gonna hit me?" "What are you talking about?" Andrew gave me a sideways glance, but then paused, as if thinking of something. A cold smile curled at the corner of his lips. "Not sure. Amelia said you must never go against a stalker type, otherwise, it's either him dying or you. But if you want to get away from a Yandere, the best way is to make him lose all interest in you." I stayed up all night digging out Andrew's interview videos, and did the exact opposite of what he said he liked. He likes smart girls, so I acted dumb all the time. He likes cheerful and lively people, so I'm always sad and melancholy. He liked kind people, so I acted all mean and villainous, turning myself into a wicked heiress straight out of a novel or drama. I figured Andrew would probably hate me in no time. I'm about to be back to my life of being rich but single again. Just thinking about it makes me feel happy and wonderful. I never expected that after all my dramatic moves. Andrew didn't get fed up with me at all. He actually spent even more time with me and kept hugging me, saying, "I'm sorry. I just didn't take good enough care of you. I'm totally worn out. How on earth is Andrew ever going to let me be?" I was about to give up and just start learning how to be a good little wife when suddenly, everything changed. A breakthrough came out of nowhere. Andrew had gone on a business trip overseas, but the very next day, news broke that he'd spent the night at a hotel with a stunningly glamorous woman. Front page headlines all over the place. Messages of concern from my parents, relatives, and friends poured in like snowflakes falling out of the sky. But when I saw that photo of the glamorous long-haired woman on the news, I couldn't help bouncing up and down with excitement, cheering at the top of my lungs. I immediately called my lawyer to ask about getting a divorce. The lawyer hesitated slightly before saying, "Miss Sophia, maybe we could wait till you're done laughing before continuing." I felt a bit apologetic, but I just couldn't stop laughing. The lawyer, clearly used to dramatic moments, was kind enough to say, "No worries. I'll send you all the details you need on your phone later." "Thank you. Thank you so much. If there's anything more exciting than my husband giving me money and not coming home, it's him doing exactly that, and still being the one to blame in the divorce." I called Amelia right away. "Sweetheart, come out tonight. Let's celebrate me finally getting my freedom." "Wait, are you actually happy? Or are you just putting on a show?" Amelia actually asked me. "I'm genuinely thrilled. I'm about to be free. I might finally get divorced from Andrew. And even if not, I can use this as an excuse so he'll never come near me again." My laughter stopped the moment Andrew walked in, looking worn out and exhausted. "Andrew's back, I gotta go now," I said quickly before hanging up. His expression was off, eyes red, full of tiredness and bloodshot veins. He stared at me in disbelief, and when I stepped closer, he actually took 2 steps back. "Tell me, are those things you just said really true?" Andrew looked like he was on the verge of tears, and it instantly threw me off balance. "What's wrong with you?" "Don't interrupt," Andrew shouted, and the tears he'd been holding back finally spilled over. "I'm asking, you just said those things, were they real or not?" I was startled, frozen in silence, not knowing how to respond. Andrew stared at me, disappointment growing in his eyes until he finally gave up waiting for an answer, turned on his heel, and strode out of the house with a loud slam of the door behind him. I was dazed, sitting there in shock, my mind a complete mess. Amelia called me to check on how I was doing. I said, "I don't know." He was crying, asking me if those things were real or not. "I don't get it. Why would he react like that?" Amelia sighed. "He's probably really fallen for you." "But what about the time he spent at a hotel with that woman?" "Sophia. Are you serious? He came straight back home to find you. That means it must have been a misunderstanding. But why would he even love me?" That question's better left for the gods to answer. So many questions swirled in my head, but only one thing was certain. Andrew isn't a stalker type. Even when he was so angry and aggrieved just now, he didn't do anything extreme to me. But this answer seems to be meaningless now. That's all for today's light update. From now on, it's the long journey of winning back my husband. If you lovely readers enjoy it, please give a like, a heart, and a favorite. Thank you so much for your support and love. I'm truly grateful. Bose. Andrew wasn't answering my calls, and he hadn't come home. No matter how many times my parents or his parents tried to talk some sense into him, nothing worked. His mom told me, "There's no changing him, he's always been this stubborn since he was a kid." My dad got so fed up he called me and said, "You're the one who drove him away. Go fix it yourself if you can't get him back. Then pack your things and just leave." Oh, and there's that news story too. The so-called glamorous woman was actually a secretary who'd been pulled from vacation duty at short notice. That same day, the company's PR department released a group work photo, instantly debunking the fake news. So now, I'm the only one to blame. Come on. Can't you just stop tormenting me like this? Andrew was dead set on not seeing me. He even had every security guard in the company memorize my face to keep me out. My current situation is extremely difficult. I had no choice but to think of one person. She'd definitely know how to get me in front of Andrew. The secretary closest to Andrew. Hazel. At the Jiang Group building. The guard waved at Hazel. "Hazel. Bringing your mom to work today." Huh. At that moment, only me, disguised and changed up, was standing beside Hazel. I stared in shock at Hazel, who pressed down on my white floral wig and smiled at the guard. "Yeah. Brought Mom to check out the office." Just when I thought I was gonna get away with it, Andrew rushed past me and said to both the guard and Hazel, "No outsiders allowed during this time. Hazel, you've got 3 minutes to bring me coffee, or don't bother showing up tomorrow." The next second, Andrew stepped into the elevator. Hazel dashed toward the cafe, and I was stopped at the door by a sharp-eyed guard. "Andrew, you really got me this time." That noon, Hazel sent me another tip. Andrew would be heading to the Gu Mansion at PM to meet a Cly. The Gu Mansion doesn't allow entry without a prior appointment. I asked a friend to help me and got a private room right next to Andrew's. But by PM, there was still no sign of Ander. I messaged Hazel to ask what was going on, and she replied, "They're already gone. Just a minute ago someone told me they wrapped up the talk and were heading back." My heart jumped. I rushed out right away. All I could see from the window was Andrew's car driving away. No doubt this was another one of Andrew's stunts. Hazel was nearly in tears on the phone, sending me voice messages over and over. "Ma'am, please just calm Mr. Andrew down. I can't take another overtime shift." Meanwhile, my father's message flashed up like a death sentence. "Saturday's your grandpa's birthday dinner. Bring Andrew with you." Don't tell me you two haven't made up yet. Those few words hit me hard. I quickly typed back. We're good. We're good. We'll be there for Grandpa's birthday. As soon as I put the phone down, my whole body was drenched in cold sweat. Getting Andrew back on good terms with me had become urgent. I asked Hazel to send me the hotel information for Andrew's recent stay. She replied right away, along with a message. Madam, I'm risking my life to pass you this intel. Don't let me down. Now go Madam. Her expectations weighed heavily on me, making me feel anxious. But I didn't want to let her down. So I replied, I'll do my absolute best. Hazel informed me that Andrew had left the Compa. I set off from Gu Mansion toward the hotel right after. But the city was packed. Traffic was worse than usual at this hour. Just then, Hazel messaged again. Madam, Mr. Andrew has suddenly been called for a business trip and is now heading to the airport. You might want to go back home and wait until he returns before trying to find him. My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly asked her, when will he be back? Hazel replied, the tea. It was too late, the titch is Saturday, and waiting until he gets back won't wa. Without much hesitation, I opened the car door and ran towards the airport. But I only ran for about 100 meters before stopping. You've got to be kidding. How am I supposed to make it to the airport in these 7-centimeter heels? I'd probably still be running by dawn. So when I saw the shared bike, I immediately took out my phone, scanned the code and rode away. Once I cleared the traffic jam, I hailed a taxi. I rushed as fast as I could and just made it in time. Andrew was sitting in the waiting area, wearing earphones while on a video call. The person next to him gestured for me to wait. I nodded and turned around, leaning against the wall and panting heavily. Suddenly, a pair of hands gently touched my back, helping me catch my breath. I was startled and turned around to look at Andrew. He'd already ended the call and taken off his earphones, frowning at me now. But still, his expression was soft. Why did you run so fast? He asked. I was afraid you'd leave. I didn't want to miss a chance to say something to you. But, luckily, I made it in time. Andrew seemed a little helpless. He took out a bottle of water, unscrewed the cap, and handed it to me. The plane's already gone, he said. That's when I realized the whole waiting area was now just him and one other person. But then, were you waiting for me? He nodded. How did you know I'd come? The driver called me. I was speechless, not knowing what to say. Andrew then asked, you came here because you wanted to tell me something, didn't you? I just want to apologize. I'm sorry I didn't realize how much it would worry you, or that you'd misunderstand me. I shouldn't have been so happy about our divorce. Seeing you like that, it really hurt me. Is this sincere? Or are you just hoping I'll go to Grandpa's birthday party with you on Saturday? He already knew about the birthday banquet. But, I mean it. And it has nothing to do with the banquet. I'm truly sorry. I've never really tried to understand your feelings. I misunderstood your intentions, misread your heart, and made you hurt. It really hurt. Coming back after a dozen hours on the plane just to explain in person, only to find you were so eager to divorce me. Let's not bring up that awkward past again. Okay, Sophia. We've never really sat down and talked properly since we got married. I guess not. How about we go home tonight and really talk things through? Wait, aren't you supposed to be on a business trip? I've sent someone else in my place. Sophia and Andrew each had a drink, lounging on the balcony in their pajamas. The gentle night breeze blew, lifting the stray hairs on his forehead. I saw a pair of eyes as bright as stars. Tonight, Andrew was a version of himself I'd never seen before. Calm, casual, relaxed and comfortable. He took a sip of his drink, looking at me and saying, honestly, the first time I saw you, I wasn't too fond of you. I didn't get upset, I just smiled back and shot right back. Funny how we're both feeling that way. I couldn't stand you either. All cold and distant like you were starring in some over-the-top boss drama. Hey, you're not exactly the picture of subtlety, dressed head to toe in bright colors. You're practically a peacock. You're the peacock. You're the one who's the peacock. We both burst out laughing. Neither of us wanted our lives to be dictated by family arrangements, so we both put on the most unlikable act we could think of when we first met. But in the end, nothing changed. Andrew continued. At the beginning of our marriage, I really didn't want to see you, so I kept making excuses about being busy and not coming home. But then I felt guilty. So all I could do was send you money. Guilty about what? That was actually my happiest time. My husband sent me money but never came home. Such a huge house all to myself. I could sleep however I wanted. Come back whenever I felt like it. It was absolutely amazing. Really? Andrew hugged his knees, tilting his head toward me with rosy cheeks, so adorable. Like a little kid. Of course it's true. I didn't know how free I could be. My mom lied to me. She told me you were like a fragile little girl, so delicate, and so afraid of being alone. She said if I left you by yourself, you'd be heartbroken. Truly miserable. My mom really went that far just to get me back. I took a sip of wine, trying to hide my embarrassment. But you did post something like that on your friend circle too, something about lonely nights, a lonely heart, and a sad me. Ha! I choked on my drink, spraying it out. That was Amelia. She got drunk and used the wrong phone. I deleted it instantly. How did you even see that? Wait. That wasn't you. Andrew's voice softened. His usual sharpness gone under the haze of alcohol. His whole body relaxed, gentle like a little lamb. I felt so guilty for ages, thinking I'd really made you this sad. Actually, it's not too late to know the truth now. We could still go back to how things were. No. Andrew suddenly stood up, waving his hand dramatically. I'm a man. A man's duty is to provide for the family and protect his wife. So, he leaned in close. His eyes filled with such sincerity it struck straight into my heart. Sophia, you're already my wife. I have a responsibility to stay by your side and take care of you. I couldn't say a word. My heart began to churn like stormy waves, warm currents crashing against the shore of my soul. But I wasn't fully surrendering. There was still a sliver of reason left. But our marriage was just a deal. There's no real feeling between us. You might meet someone you truly like someday. Who says I don't have feelings for you? He cut me off, his gaze growing deeper, intense like he was staring straight into my soul. My heart was beating even more violently. He kept stoking the fire in my already racing heart. I don't even know when I started feeling different about you. Maybe it was when I saw you in that huge wedding dress, hiding in a corner and napping. Or when you quietly passed me a cookie to cover up my snack stealing. Maybe it was standing side by side with you against outsiders. Or the rare but genuine care you'd give me now and then. You started becoming kinda cute. I sat there, stunned, completely speechless. Sophia, I have feelings for you. And I believe these feelings will grow into love over time. What about you? Do you like me? I'm not sure if I like Andrew or not. But in this moment, I realize I'm starting to look forward to our marriage. Maybe I can actually hope for happiness now. I don't know. I shook my head, but I'm willing to give it a try. With that, I leaned in and kissed him on the lips. Tonight is destined to be a sleepless night. On Saturday, Grandpa's birthday banquet was extremely lively. My mother-in-law, looking elegant and refined in her finest attire, came over holding a glass of wine and gently nudged my side with her elbow. Seems like you've been getting along well with your husband lately. I took a small sip of my drink and smiled without saying a word. You're blushing now. Aren't you? All right, Mom. Don't tease me, there are so many people around. It's kind of embarrassing. What's there to be embarrassed about? I'm telling you, this son-in-law was carefully chosen by both your dad and me. You really need to cherish him. Was he picked out from financial reports across different departments? I couldn't help but add a little sarcasm to my words. You silly child. Mom tapped my head. Financial reports? No way, it's about character and integrity. The Zhang family are naturally devoted. Every man in the family responsible and loyal. What good is money anyway? Do we even need more? Your dad and I just want you to have a truly faithful, dedicated husband, one who'll stay by your side for life. Today was the first time I realized how much thought my parents had put into this. You'll understand what parents feel when you're a mom yourself someday. Mom shook her head and walked away. Andrew came over, gently wrapping his arm around my waist as he asked softly, "What did Mom say to you?" "Nothing much. I just feel really happy right now." Andrew pressed his forehead against mine and pulled me even closer. Amelia sent me a message asking, "Quick interview with MS. Sophia, how do you feel about your husband coming home every single day?" I smiled warmly and replied, "Feels pretty good." Bonus chapter. Andrew held me close, kissing my face with obvious reluctance to let go. My phone lit up. Hazel sent me a message. "Madam, hurry and get Mr. Andrew down already. We'll miss the flight if we don't leave soon." I couldn't help but remember how cold and distant Andrew seemed when I first met him. It was like he'd turned into a completely different person, now so clingy and affectionate. I pushed hard at Andrew's arms, creating just 2 centimeters of space between us, then wriggled free and took in a deep breath before saying, "Could you please get going? I'm seriously about to run out of air with you hugging me like this. You're pushing me away. Are you not loving me anymore?" No. I love you so much. You're my heart, my soul, and 3/4 of my life. Just go already. Please. I kept soothing him while pulling his suitcase, guiding him all the way to the door. Then, seizing the opportunity, I opened the door wide and sent him out. "Baby, I'll be back as soon as I can. All right. Love you, baby." At the same time, I quickly sent Hazel a message. "Help me keep him distracted and make him stay out as long as possible. Big reward if it works." Hazel replied, "That brand new bag we saw last time we went shopping. If it's done right, I'll make sure you get to see it. Deal." Night fell. The shiny colored lights cut the darkness into a riot of colors. Amelia leaned in close, her voice a soft whisper against my ear. "You know, how long has it been since we last went out for a night on the town?" I started counting on my fingers, almost tearing up. Almost a year and 4 months exactly day. Amelia let out a soft sigh. "This is what love does to a man. Huh. He remembers how he didn't come home for half a year back then. But now he's all over you like glue. Can't get enough of you. The change is just wild. Please don't go on. Just talking about it makes me want to cry. I can't even say no to him. He gives me that sad little look. And suddenly I'm just a puddle of mush, wanting nothing more than to hold him close and kiss him." Amelia. "Wait, is this actually a complaint? Why does it sound so much like lovey-dovey drama?" "Know more about him," I said, clinking my glass against Amelia's with a grin. "Andrew's probably not coming back this week. Let's make the most of it. Let's really have fun. Deal." The lights pulsed and the music swirled. But I didn't notice my phone on the table, its screen lighting up again and again, flickering like a heartbeat. It was already deep in the night when I finally noticed Hazel's message. I stared at the screen, each message ending with an exclamation mark. And half my drink slipped away as panic set in. "Madam, plans have changed, Mr. Andrew will be back tomorrow morning." "Madam, Mr. Andrew said he's not waiting till tomorrow. He's coming home tonight." "Madam, are you at home?" Mr. Andrew is on his way back. Madam, where have you been? Mr. Andrew's looking for you right now. Madam, are you at the club? Someone just saw you there. Madam, Mr. Andrew's coming after you. Madam, run. You're done for. You're dead meat. I was done for. 'Cause there he was. Andrew. He couldn't have been sitting there for long. But he'd already noticed me. It seemed that he had already noticed me. The moment I saw him, he was calmly sitting among a group of people, watching me with a smile on his face, even raising his glass to toast me. The lights flickered on and off as Andrew smiled at me from not too far away. The smile was full of threats. A chill shot up from my toes straight to the top of my head. He waved his phone at me. I picked it up and saw a message he'd sent. Told you so. Not that it matters. I remembered a conversation we'd had before. I thought he was a stalker type and asked him if he'd ever hit me. He just said, maybe. You can still get away if you run now. He texted me. I grabbed my coat and bag and ran away at full speed. Andrew was striding after me with his long legs. For a moment, I felt like I'd stepped right into a horror movie. But as I ran, I felt something was wrong. Why was I running? I stopped walking and turned back to look at Andrew. He had his hands in his pockets, smiling at me with that soft, indulgent look. It hit me all of a sudden. You did it on purpose to scare me? Otherwise. He stepped closer, gently pinched my cheek. Do you really think I'd ever hurt you? You're so naughty. Scaring me like that. Me, you're the one being bad. Andrew pulled me into his arms. You went out without telling me, made me worry sick. I just didn't want you to be upset. That's all. But didn't you think I'd get mad when I found out? If you were mad, I nuzzled deeper into his chest. I'd just make it up to you. That's all. Well then. I'm mad now. Andrew fake scowled. How are you going to make it right? Like this. I stood on tiptoe and kissed his left cheek. Better now. Not even close. How about this? I rose again on my toes and kissed his right cheek. No, not yet. You're such a greedy one. What about this? I grabbed the front of his jacket and stood on my toes, pressing a deep kiss to his lips. Andrew pulled me close. Our faces just inches apart. He looked into my eyes with a voice low and captivating. That's better. Next time, don't hide things from me. Okay. I'd worry sick if you did. Got it. When he looks at me like that, I can't say no to anything. You chasing him. Him chasing you, just a little game lovers play. 'Cause I love him. I'm willing